All right, so we're going to talk about how we can find the surface area of different prisms. So make sure, please, that you have this worksheet in front of you, and you're going to fill out this worksheet as we go through the video. You're going to be doing some of them with me, and you're going to be doing some of them independently. So the first thing we need to understand, or we need to remember, is what is surface area, because that's what we're talking about. And surface area is simply the area of all the sides. Okay, that's all it is. So we find the area of all the sides, and we add them together. So that's the process we're going to use. We're not going to use a formula. We're not going to use a fancy method. We're just going to find the area of each of the sides, and we're going to add them all together. So let's start with rectangular prism. What we need to know about a rectangular prism is that there are three sets of sides that are the same. This front side right here is the same as the back side. We have the right side here, which is the same as the left side. And we have the top, which is the same as the bottom. So we're going to start by finding the surface area of each of those sides. So let's start with the front, and I like to draw them out. This is the front. Okay. I need the bottom length of the front. So I'm going to come over here, and this is going to be the bottom length. So I'm going to look, well, I see that that's the same as this one, and that's the same as this one. So the bottom length is 8. And I need the height of the front, which is right here, which is 6. So to find the area of this, I'm going to take 6 times 8, which is 48. Now I know that there are two rectangles exactly like this, the front and then the back side. So I'm going to take this 48 and I'm going to multiply it by 2, and I'm going to get 96. So the area of the front and the back together is 96. Okay? Let's repeat it for the right side. The right side is over here. I need the length first. It's the bottom, this part here, which would be the same as this, which is the same as across from it. So that is 10. And I need the up and down here, which I already know is 6. To find the area of that, I'm going to take 10 times 6, which is 60. But I know the right side is the same as the left side. So I'm going to multiply that by 2. And we get 60 times 2 is 120. Okay? The last thing we need then is we have the front, the back, the right, the left. Now we need the top and the bottom. So let's look at the top. Okay? The top lengths are right here for me, 10 and 8. So 10 and 8. To find the volume, I'm going to the area. 10 times 8 is 80, but since there's 2 of them, I'm going to multiply by 2, and I get 160. Now, finally, to find the surface area, all I have to do is add up these three numbers right here. So 96 plus 120 plus 160 as the surface area. So my final answer here is 376 inches squared. Okay? So what you're going to do is you have two problems down here at the bottom. Okay? You're going to do each of those by yourself, and then you're going to put the answer into the PlayPosit. If your answer is correct, you will move on right to the next problem. If it's incorrect, though, you'll watch me explain the video, and you should make sure to fix it on your paper before you move on. Okay, first one here. We need to find the surface area of this prism. Okay, so if we look here, we have three sets of sides again. Okay, let's start with the front right here. The front is the same as the back. So if I look at the front, it's going to be 4.2 times 4.2, which is 17.64. Okay, and since we know that all of these sides are the same, right? Because this is a cube, all of the sides are exactly the same. We know that all 6 of the sides are exactly the size. So for this one, we can take the 17.64, and all we need to do is multiply it by 6, which is going to give us 105.84 centimeters squared. Now, be careful. This only works because this is a cube, and all 6 sides are the same. Okay, let's look at the next one here. All right, so we're going to break it down in each piece. Let's start with the front and the back, which is going to be this section right here. So the front and the back. The sides of that are 4, you can see across from there, and the up and down is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Since there are 2 of them, we're going to multiply it by 2, which is 24. Next, let's look at the right and the left. So here I'm outlining the right side, right and left. The up and down piece is 3, the left and right piece is 2. 3 times 2 gives us 6. There's 2 of them, so multiply that by 2, and that gives us 12. Okay, the last part is the top and the bottom. Top and bottom. So we see we have 4 across there, and this front to back is going to be 2. Oops, sorry about that. Let's try that again. So 4 times 2 is 8. There's 2 of them, so we're going to multiply it by 2, and we get 16. To find the surface area, all we have to do is add those numbers together. 24 plus 12 plus 16. So the surface area is 24 plus 12 plus 16, which is going to give us a total of 52 centimeters squared. All right, now that we're comfortable finding the surface area of a rectangular prism, let's talk about a triangular prism. The only difference about a triangular prism is we have 2 triangles instead of all sides that are rectangles. Now, since it's a prism, we know that the bases are the same. So the big thing to know about this is the triangles are equal. Right? So we only need to find the area of one of the triangles, and then we'll multiply it by 2. So I like to start with the triangles. Again, we're just going to find every single side and add them together. I like to start with the triangles. So if I draw the triangles, 9, 12, and if you look at the back, it says 15 there. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. In this case, the base is 12, and the height is 9. So 1/2 times 12 times 9 gives us a total of 54. But since there are 2 triangles, okay, we know that the other one is also 54. So you can either multiply 54 by 2, or sometimes I just kind of like to make a list of them all. Okay? Now we need to look at each of our rectangles. Let's start with this one on the right here. That rectangle right here that I just outlined in red. Okay? It doesn't matter where you draw them as long as you organize your work somehow. Okay, the one on the right, the top length is 18. The up and down length is 15. So to find the area, we're going to take 18 times 15, which is going to give us 270. Okay? So let's go ahead and circle what we have so far. We have both the triangles for 54, and we have that right rectangle is 270. Okay, maybe let's look at the bottom now. We're just going through each of the sides. So the bottom is down here. That one right there. I see 12 and 18. I'm going to multiply those. 12 times 18 is going to give me 216. Okay. And I have one more side. It's kind of that back side right there. I see a 9 and an 18. 9 times 18 is going to give me a total of 162. So to find the surface area, all I'm going to do, that's a 162, is add up those 5 numbers. There's only 5 sides now. So 54 plus 54 plus 270 plus 216 plus 162 gives us a total of 756 centimeters squared. Okay? Just like the front, you're going to do the 3 at the bottom by yourself. You'll put your answer into the play posit. If the answer is correct, you will move on to the next question. If the answer is incorrect, you will watch me solve it. So go ahead and try the first one. Okay, let's start with the triangles. Okay, I like to draw it always. Here's my triangle. I'm taking this information right from the picture. I see the 6 on the bottom. I look back there. I see a 5 for that side. I see a height of 4. And I see a 5 for the back side. So to find the area of this triangle, remember triangles are 1/2 times base times height. In this case, it's 1/2 times the base of 6 times the height of 4. 1/2 times 6 times 4 gives me 12. Okay, so maybe I'll come over here this time and make a list. Triangle 1 is 12. Triangle 2 is 12. Let's go with our rectangles. I'm going to start with the bottom rectangle right here. The 2 side lengths that I just highlighted were 6 and 7. So I'm going to take 6 times 7, which I know is 42. So one of my rectangles is 42. Okay. Let's get a different color here maybe. Let's go with this right side now. This red side here, I see a 5 and I see a 7. So the right side is 5 times 7, which is 35. So my next triangle is 35. And let's go then, the last one we have to do is kind of this left side over here. I see I just highlighted 5, and the bottom part here is 7. So this is actually the same. 5 times 7 is 35. Sorry, my pen's dying there. So we have this one is 35. To find the surface area, all we're going to do is add up all of those lovely numbers that we just listed there. 12 plus 12 plus 42 plus 35 plus 35. It's going to give us a surface area of 136 feet squared. All right, let's take a look at this one over here. I'm going to do it piece by piece again. Let's start with those triangles. 2, 2, and the long side over there, I see from this side of my picture is 2.8. I know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height, so in this case it's 1/2 times 2, which is 2. Right, so we have 2 triangles, they're each 2, so let's see where I can make a list here. I think I'll split this up like this, and I'll try to list them over here. First triangle's 2, second triangle's 2. Let's go to our rectangles. Okay, rectangle number 1, let's do this one right here, kind of on the right side. I just highlighted in red. I see a 2.8 and a 3. So the right side is 2.8 and 3. 3 times 2.8 is going to give us 8.4. So we have one rectangle is 8.4. Okay. Maybe we'll do the bottom next. It doesn't matter what order you do these in, just so you get all of them in there. So the bottom one is kind of that one there that I just colored in blue. I see a 2 on this side, and then the front to back side is going to be 3 from the top. So this is a, start here, 2 times 3, and we know that 2 by 3, 2 times 3 gives us 6, so that one is 6. And then we have one more. Now we're looking at this back one right here, okay, that I just kind of colored in there in green. Up and down is 2, right here. Length is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. That one is also 6. So to find our surface area, all we need to do, once again, is add up these numbers right here. 2 plus 2 plus 8.4 plus 6 plus 6 is going to give us a total surface area of 24.4 meters squared. All right, last question we have here. Try to squeeze it in. I might have to do some deleting. Okay, so we have we want to wrap a paperweight shape like the triangular prism shown. How many square inches of wrapping paper do we need in order to wrap that? So let's go. We just need to find the area of each of the sides. Let's start with those triangles where I like to start all the time. Both the triangles are the same. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like. So if you draw it out, I see a 4 on the bottom. It tells me the height is 3.5, and those are the only things I need to find the area of the triangle. 1/2 base times height is 1/2 times 4 times 3.5, which is 7. So I'll kind of come over here and make my list. There's both the triangles are 7 because they're the same. Now we need our rectangles. Let's look at the bottom first. I'm seeing a 4 and an 8. So 4 and 8, 4 times 8 is 32. So I have one rectangle at 32. Okay, let's check this one kind of over here on the right. The two numbers I just outlined were 4 and 4. So my next one, let's give us some more space here, is 4 times 4. We know that 4 times 4 is 16. So we have one that's going to be 16. And we've got one more, kind of that back side over there. I see it looks like I highlighted a 4 inches. And the up and down is also 4 inches. Okay? We can see that that's kind of this one that's pointing back there. So we have 4 by 4. Once again, 4 times 4 is 16. So our last rectangle is 16. To find our surface area, all we have to do is add up 7 plus 7 plus 16 plus 16 plus 32. And we're going to get a total surface area of 110 inches squared.